Working Interferences is intended for mature audiences. Since the hosts never grew up, someone needs to be the adult. Welcome to Working Interferences with Josh and Lance, the dental advice podcast for the average dentist. Here is Josh and Lance.
Braz, what is up? Welcome to the Working Interferences podcast, a dental advice show. I'm Joshua Austin.
And I am Lance Timmerman.
Well, Lance, it has happened.
Has it?
A huge story in sports. Huge story in sports. A young man has given an entire group of people excitement and hope and inspiration in golf. Did you watch the Masters at all?
I had to follow just by the headlines and things. I wasn't watching live, but that was pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, no, it was such a great thing to see. I mean, it's about time. It's been years in the making. Finally,
yeah,
Lance. Finally, young golfers who share characteristics with this young man can, use him as a role model and an idol on their way to golfing glory. And of course, I'm talking about people whose names rhyme with female anatomy and their ability to compete in the Masters. Will Zalatoris came in second place. The Z-spot, as Bill Simmons called him, which I loved. The Z-spot. Has there ever been a professional athlete whose name rhymes with clitoris?
I am not familiar with any. Now, is this the same guy that Adam Sandler tweeted out as like his caddy from when he was a kid?
Yes, he looks just like that guy.
I had to Google.
It's amazing.
I thought for sure it was him.
It looks just like him. I mean, it totally could be. And I don't know if that was a real tweet. Did Adam really tweet that? Or was it just a screen grab that somebody
made? I fell for it. One way or the other, I fell for it.
I never believe anymore when I see a screenshot of a tweet that it's actually a real tweet.
Yeah.
I mean, I do remember, the great golfer Federico Mulva from Spain, who used to compete with Sevi Ballesteros. And then I remember Phil Bovary. He had a good run back in the late '60s, against Gary Player and those guys.
Gotcha.
I don't. There's Lenny Pervix. I don't know if you remember that guy.
I don't.
He was kind of a legendary guy. He hurt his elbow. Early on, and so he had a tough time. I do really remember though Freddie Zabia from Australia that really he missed the cut by he lipped out a putt. No pun intended.
Sure.
And missed a cut by one. But they were talking about the Zalatorial hood. And I thought it was unfair to paint him as a white supremacist and wearing a hood. Just because he's white doesn't mean he has a hood.
This is true.
And just because his name rhymes with clitoris.
Coincidental than anything. It's his hood is just a fashion statement.
It's not. No, I don't think you can say it's a fashion statement.
Okay.
It's the liliest, whitest man in the world whose name happens to rhyme with clitoris. If he wears a hood, it's not a fashion statement. It's a little bit more than that. Gotcha. I was just waiting for I was waiting for Jim Nantz to mess up and say clitoris.
Oh, really?
I mean, how? Because it's one of those things where it's when someone has a huge mole on their face and you're just don't say anything about the mole, don't say anything about the mole. And then that's all you, then you immediately say something dumb about it. That has to just be in the prep meetings, especially as he started moving up the board on Friday and Saturday, as we're going to call it now. Don't call him clitoris. For the love of God, don't call him clitoris. Just over and over. I can just picture Jim Nantz staring into the mirror as he's tying his tie in the morning.
Don't say it.
Don't say clitoris. Has Jim Nantz ever said the word clitoris? He might have never even said the word.
He might not even know what it is.
Yeah, he does have his own line of Vineyard Vines close, which tells me probably doesn't necessarily know what it is. Do you think Zalatoris knows about the clitoris? Pretty sure he's did you see this guy? Did you see him?
I did.
He's like a size 28 waist. He looks like he weighs about 160 pounds. He definitely looks a little like Johnny Lawrence.
Okay.
Remember Johnny Lawrence? Cobra Kai superstar Johnny Lawrence from Karate
right.
Kid, the blonde kid from Karate Kid.
Karate Kid, yep.
He does like if Johnny Lawrence had a tapeworm, he looks like that. Like if Johnny Lawrence had some sort of like intestinal issue and couldn't hold down any food and only weighed like 148 pounds, that's what Will Zalatoris looks like.
There you go.
Pretty good looking girlfriend from I'm looking at it. It's on Golf Monthly. Who is Will Zalatoris' girlfriend? I'm glad that they're hitting the hard hitting questions.
What we all want to know.
Why do they have an entire article on
giving the readers what they want?
Is this really what they want? Is this just People Magazine for golfers? Will Zalatoris is currently dating Caitlin Sellers. The two have been dating each other for more than 3 years. But other than that, we don't know much more about the couple. Sellers has been attending Zalatoris' golf tournaments regularly, has been spotted at events. Why does this magazine exist? That's what it is. Why was this a whole article? This is like a 600-word article. That's just strictly about Will Zalatoris' girlfriend. Well, hopefully for Caitlin Sellers' sake, he knows how to find his namesake.
I heard it doesn't exist, so I quit looking.
The Z spot. I went to a CE course last week, in a live course.
How'd that feel?
It was great. And it was probably one of the best CE courses I've ever taken in my life.
Oh, sweet. That's when you know it was a good time, when you actually feel like you got value.
Yeah.
Like it's going to change things.
Do you know who David Galler is?
I do not.
Okay, he's a big Invisalign guy. So he's a GP from New York who was like a Diamond Plus provider. And had the Invisalign ran a report to show who has the lowest percentage of cases that need a refinement. The average was 150% of cases need a refinement.
Okay.
Galler was running 20% of cases that needed a refinement, and he was doing Diamond Pro. So they had him come up with this course called Re-Engage. And it's super hard to get into. The people in my class, there were 20 people in person. Several people have been waiting for more than 3 years to go to this class.
Oh, Jesus.
So he will only do 20 people at a time. And he, and basically it all goes through your Invisalign rep. So your area rep will get maybe one seat every 6 months, maybe one seat a year. And then they have to pick who they want to give that seat to. Right. So,
gotcha.
I have some connections. And so my rep was like, hey, if you want to go, I can make it happen for you. And so, I went, and I am a fucking idiot at Invisalign, or I was before. Everything I did was just fucking what's
sloppy?
No, just not even sloppy. Fucking throw the ball in the air and pray that it gets caught by somebody. That's it. You might I might as well just been throwing passes blind and just I don't know what's going to happen. It may turn out great, may not. And that's basically what I was doing. Why they don't just teach this? Why don't they just record this fucking guy and just make you watch modules of this when you get your Invisalign certification is a fucking mystery to me. I don't, this is very much like religion, right? Where it's all right, here's this big fucking book of the Bible, and you have fun with this. And, the average person reads it and I don't know, whatever. Mordecai begets Zordikai begets Will Zalatoris. I don't know what any of the fuck this shit means.
All right.
But then it's if you are in the inner club, then you sort of get oh, okay, that's what they were fucking talking. I get it, right? But you have to be in the inner club, right? You have to go to fucking seminary or whatever. This is seminary for fucking Invisalign.
And you got to know the right people, and I don't. So
yes. So it was fucking mind boggling how horrible I was doing everything wrong. again, throwing it up in the air and fucking praying.
It comes down to you don't know what you don't know, and I kind of like my ignorance.
Yeah, but like whose responsibility is it to certify me on the fucking service that they provide? Invisalign, and they are horrible at it. And
they want quality control.
Well, wouldn't it make their fucking life easier if we all knew what we're doing?
Well, I mean, that makes sense, you think.
Did you think that would make it where the fucking refinement rate wasn't 150%? If like they taught us how to put on attachments and do IPR and how to read a fucking ClinCheck and how to set up clinical preferences of things that aren't actually going to happen. Like that's the thing. It was like we looked at like 30 ClinChecks and all of them were like, 85% of this shit isn't going to happen. So,
oh really?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, so as going to the course, if you go to the course and you join this guy's academy, the American Academy of Clear Aligner Therapy, then you get access to like his version of ClinCheck. He has like an engine. So the regular way ClinChecks go is from it's something called Treat. It's the Treat engine is what it is. Every Invisalign provider goes through the Treat engine is what they call it. So you submit a case, Treat engine runs on it, then a tech looks at it, like makes tweaks. If you join the AACA and you have taken a Galler course, you get the Galler engine, what they call the GLR. And the GLR like basically tells ClinCheck, stop fucking around with shit that ain't going to happen. Like, here's what's not going to happen. Here's how we do it. And
now,
it just makes it 100%, like, it makes it totally worth it.
Did you have to sign an NDA and you're like blowing your anonymity here on the podcast?
No. Well, I mean,
are people supposed to know that?
There was an NDA, but the NDA is about like sort of some of the specific stuff in the course. Okay. I don't think they would care that I'm saying, like, if you can get to this course, get to this course. All right. It's going to cost you $2,000. It's going to cost you travel and a couple of days out of your office.
I'm worried for you. Just making sure you're not getting trouble.
It's like this course is absolutely out of this world incredible.
Okay.
And like, I was doing all of it wrong. I was doing attachments wrong. I was doing treatment planning wrong. I was obviously doing ClinCheck wrong. I was doing IPR. I was just doing all of it. I was doing monitoring appointments wrong. I was finishing wrong. I was all of it, everything, the whole thing. All right. So well, if you can get to this fucking Galler course, my dude.
So I have a 3-year wait. Okay, I'll put in my notice
like
now.
Yeah. So I think it all depends on like how tight you are with your Invisalign rep and like how many cases you're doing, which is like that's kind of a tough deal because it's like, if you win, you'd probably be a much better customer for them because you do a lot more and you would do it a lot more efficiently and you would enjoy it more because things move predictably and you finish cases like that. His whole deal is 20 in, 20 out, 20 trays in, 20 trays out, no refinements, 20 trays in, 20 trays out.
Gotcha.
And it's so if you can get to this course, anybody out there, we did have a listener at the course, a guy named Josh Chubb, from Orlando, who said he listens to the show. So shouts to Chubb, to Half Chubb.
What's up, Chubb?
No, I'm sorry, not Chubb, Chup. With
all right,
two P's instead of B's, but I'm going to call him Half Chubb.
Gotcha.
Just because I like the Cleveland Browns running back Nick Chubb, and I like to call him Half Chubb.
There you go.
So yeah, if you can get to this course, I don't know, buy your Invisalign rep a fucking some Louboutin shoes or like a Louis Vuitton tote bag or some Jimmy Choos or some Valentinos or if it's a guy, I guess there's male Invisalign reps. I don't know, some fucking golf clubs. Get him whatever the golf clubs at the Z Spot Will Zalatoris was using. They apparently tickle everyone's fancy just right. Do whatever you can to get to that course because it's absolutely unreal. There's actually another person in the course from San Antonio. And what happened was that they'd gotten 2 seats in the region, like the South Texas region, like Austin and South. And they had somebody from Austin who was all set up and ready to go, and they backed out at the last minute. And so somebody's like, hey, if you can go to this course like this week, you can go. And so they like cleared their schedule to go. So
sweet. 3-day course?
It was 2 days, 2 full days. Like the first day was like 8 until 6. Second day was 8 until 5.
Okay.
And it's in Raleigh. They give you an option to do it virtually, so there's about 10 people on virtual. I wouldn't do it virtually. I would go. I
just can't do. I'm so bad at virtual. My ADD kicks in. I need to be present.
Yeah, he made it to where like everybody had to be on camera and everybody had to be there, and he would like call on people and stuff like that. So he did a good job of getting those people. He does a lot of comedy bits, and so we talked a lot about comedy and whatnot. And I will tell you, his favorite comedian, Jim Gaffigan.
I like Jim.
That's fine.
Okay.
Jim Gaffigan's fine. But it's sort of like saying like, fuck, man, I love ice cream. Ice cream is my favorite shit in the world. You want to know what my favorite flavor is? Vanilla. It's fucking amazing. Like, yeah, like I'm not disputing vanilla ice cream is good.
Okay.
It's just for somebody who's like super into fucking ice cream. Like, I don't know, something like a mint chocolate chip, Rocky
Tinner
Road,
Sunday?
cookies
Come
and
on,
cream, like something more than just vanilla. Like, no, man, vanilla. And so I was like, hey, like here are 4 specials that changed my life. Neil Brennan, 3 mics, Bo Burnham, Make Happy, Hassan Minaj, Homecoming King, and Dave Chappelle, Killing Him Softly. He's like, I've never heard of any. He's like, I've heard of Chappelle, but I don't know any of those others. I was like, do you know Anthony Jeselnik? And he was like, the restorative dentist. And I was like, oh my God, you're fucking kidding me, right? Anthony Jeselnik is probably the greatest living comedian right now. And you thought he was a restorative dentist? Like, he's like, yeah, I like Gaffigan and Seinfeld. All right. Cool. Okay. But,
all right.
So he is funny and he does have bits. We just have very different tastes in comedy.
Gotcha. All right. Nothing wrong with that.
And so, he does stand up at his AACA meeting.
Really?
And then he has a professional comedian come, and so he opens for him. And he told the story that he's going to tell, and he goes to the story, and the story was good, except he gets to the end of it, and there's no fucking punchline. I'm like, and so he looked at me, he's like, what do you think? I was like, it's a great story. However, if you're going to tell this on stage,
where's the payoff?
In a comedy, like, you need a punchline. So I wrote a punchline for him and sent it to him later that day. And then he had a punchline that he told, but it wasn't the punchline for that joke. It was a punchline for a different joke. I was like, that punchline's great, but that's not for this joke. That's a completely like that punchline in this story do not go together. So I wrote him the joke for the punchline, and then I wrote him the punchline for the story. So
all right, so it's like Jeopardy. You want the answer first.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it was just like I was like, well, what's your punchline? After he told the story, he's like, I'm thinking of this. And then he says the punchline. I was like, that has nothing to do with the story. And not in like an Anthony Jeselnik way where it like bowls you over, like, oh shit, I see what he did. It just like, it's not the punchline for that joke. It's just not the punchline. Okay. So I wrote him some stuff and sent it to him. I don't know if he'll do it or not. All right. But it's like, it's all his people. Like the ACA is all his people. So it's like he could go up there and talk, like make Will Zalatoris jokes for 45 minutes and it'd be fine. So no matter what, he's going to get laughs because he has like, I don't want to say sycophants, but he has like his tribe.
Their entourage.
Yeah, he's got he calls them Gallerites.
Okay,
which sounds like a fucking like weird like religious sect in Pennsylvania. Like, you gotta watch out for them Gallerites there. They ride in carriages and they don't like the Mennonites. They don't like them one bit. No, the Gallerites and the Mennonites, they are not are not friends with each other there. And what other ites are there? Are there other ites? I feel like there's ites. It's something starts with an H.
I can think of a bunch of ites, but it's from my background, so
but Gallerite sounds like that, right?
Gallerite, yeah, they should be from Waco.
Yes, exactly. That's what it sounds like. They need to be Galler heads. I think that's much like the Galler heads because that like makes you think like parrot heads for Mr. Fucking Cheeseburger in Paradise guy. What's his name?
Oh Jesus! Now I'm going blank. Margaritaville dude.
Yeah. Jimmy
Buffett.
James Buffett. James Q. Buffett. That's like Galler heads or like ditto heads, like for monumental douchebag Rush Limbaugh. He had the ditto heads. I think Galler heads is better than Gallerites. Because again, Gallerites, it just seems like they're going to show up to the fucking meeting in like a weird straw hat, and the guys are going to have like beards, but like no mustache. And the women are going to have like weird dresses on. Like, those are the Gallerites over there, eh?
Yeah. Big sweeping hairdos combed straight back.
Yeah, weird hairdos. Weird hairdos. Lance, this is an advice show. Maybe
someday.
We answer your questions. We answer questions we find in all those neat little dental Facebook groups. We answer questions from Reddit. We strive to help dentists and dental team members their own unique brand of advice. So please, we need your questions. They are the sustenance we crave. You can submit your questions to rickyinterferences@gmail.com. No, we don't want just any question, do we, Lance?
Oh, fuck no.
We don't want a bunch of boring questions like, what's the best planning software ever? Because we all know the ClinCheck's Treat algorithm is the greatest clinical software of all time. We want the questions that Gordon Christensen cannot answer. You think Gordon's ever done an Invisalign case?
Probably just for research.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe.
I don't see a lot of prosthodontists really spending a whole lot of time moving teeth.
Yeah. So I've done several cases where I've done some minor Invisalign before I did restorative. And it just makes a huge difference. And like not getting an orthodontist involved is just kind of nice, or like for the simple cases that I did. So
pre-prosthetic ortho is my favorite. So
yeah, take this fucking Galler course, become a Gallerite, grow a weird beard.
Hey, I'm a big fan of cults, so don't.
You're in. You're going to be in. You're going to be showing up in your covered carriage, your covered wagon to Vegas at the ACA meeting, and just like all in. Question 1. Reddit user Nipple Bolus 1997 asks, humiliating experience at the dentist. Why does this happen? Listen, I like it when they start out with that, when they start aggressively. Yeah. Listen, I've never had a positive experience with any dentist. Some of the most condescending and unprofessional people I've ever encountered were dentists that fumbled around with my teeth and talked down to me. I am sorry to the dentists on here that are good to their patients. I'm not attacking you. Here are some questions I have. Why must dentists shame me? It is not appropriate to blame patients for their teeth. I am sick of, do you really floss? This hurts because you don't take care of your teeth, etc. Shame-based learning doesn't help patients. I do not disagree with that. Do dentists receive cultural sensitivity training or anything of the sort? More goes into poor health than just not brushing, flossing. Not saying this applies to me. Healthcare is a luxury in America. Some people can't afford to get dental care, so they avoid it until it's painful or absolutely necessary. People have mental health problems and life stressors. Sorry if their teeth aren't their priority. Again, I don't disagree with that. Why do dentists act like I'm not there, or feel free to just say whatever they want? The way you speak about patients' problems in their presence matters. I had a dentist redoing a cavity, and she said, this one's huge. We need to go way up. Being dramatic about what you are working on is rude as hell. Try again and simply say, we need to go a size up on that one. You don't go to a dermatologist and out up with them saying, wow, your acne is really bad. You look like pizza. Not sure why it's expected that we tolerate dentists being rude. Why is this so common? Why is it so common, Lance?
Well, I'd be curious of where have you gone? I mean, there are certain types of practices where I think this probably is more common. I mean,
it's obviously anecdotal, right? It's just one person's experience, and they may have just had shitty luck. It sounds like they have.
Yeah. So my I don't know. I don't totally disagree, but I do take exception to a few things. It's not appropriate to blame patients for their teeth. You know what? The very, very few have a genetic mutation that make it so their teeth are...
Well, yeah, but I mean, there are other things that are involved from a host systemic standpoint. All right. Oral microbiome and things like that we don't really even fully understand, much less, being able to fully educate patients about it or understand it, risk stratifications and things like that. I see patients that I have one friend, Liana, who she's a friend of mine, I know like she has immaculate plaque control, but every time she comes in, she has an incipient class 2. I've thrown the fucking kitchen sink at her. I've thrown her on Prevident and Carry Free and all that shit. And she just fucking grows class 2s. Like, it's going out of style. And I know that she does what I ask her to do because she doesn't have any inflammation or anywhere. It's just a new fucking incipient class 2 every time. So there's like some things that are out of patient's control. You know, I think that no matter how good Liana is at controlling her plaque, like she is still going to have issues with decay. Like it's something with her oral microbiome. It's something with her saliva quality. It's something with her saliva quantity. Like there are other things that go in than just brushing and flossing, but we really only hammer that. And I get it because partially it's what we can control.
The vast majority of the time, it is the patient just not really taking care of themselves, or they finally saw the light, but the damage was already done and it's already growing. It's irreversible. To a certain extent, but also we have perio patients who do exactly what we ask them to do and still have issues with pockets, you know? So, I mean, there are things that are beyond a patient's control. And I think to just blanketly say that oral health is only about brushing and flossing. I'm not saying it's only, but it is.
It's obviously important. It's obviously important.
So I'd be really curious to see this person's situation. I had a patient it was clearly meth mouth, and she absolutely insisted it wasn't meth. And no, it's you know, I'm not so naive.
But like, here's the thing: is like, who is that? So, all right, you say like, is there anything else going on here? Is there any substance abuse or anything like that? And they say no. Like, what else can you do at that point? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they're not ready to admit anything.
Right. I even told her, I said, it doesn't even matter how you got here. The reality is we're here, and it's the time the teeth go out, we're going to be doing implants, and you're going to get something different than your teeth. You know, just trying to figure out how we got here is more of an exercise, but it doesn't really change what we're doing. Right. It was terminal dentition. We're taking the teeth out. That wasn't going to change anything.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying I do think there is a little something to that being like, hey, there's more involved than just plaque control.
Right. Well, and I absolutely agree that it's not. There's no benefit to shaming the patient. What good is that?
Right.
That's a useless exercise.
That doesn't turn into anything. Right. No. I don't disagree with that. So on to 2. Do dentists receive cultural sensitivity training?
Not a lick. At least I didn't. Maybe others do.
We had behavioral dentistry. We had 2 semesters of it. We had one like sophomore year and one senior year. Did you guys have behavioral dentistry?
It doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't mean we didn't, but
okay.
I don't remember it.
It was so on first blush, it sounds like sort of psychology related to dentistry, which sounds like it could be fascinating, right? Mm-hmm. But that's like not what it turned into. It just turned into like fucking community dentistry, like fluoride varnish and silver diamine fluoride, and just all that typical community-based dental care bullshit that we've all had in a million fucking other classes, and just like. It very quick, like it just didn't have anything there. There was no meat to it. This is kind of where that should be, and just sort of. But the problem is that there's just like we see it all the time. There's a ton of dentists who are just fucking socially awkward people.
Oh my god! The more meet, the more I shake my head.
I don't think you can cultural sensitivity train super awkward people into being like gregarious, kind, approachable dentist. I just don't think it can happen.
No.
And so, I mean, there's a guy in my dental school class that never graduated. And I don't put his name on blast, but he didn't graduate. He didn't make it out of second year. And like, we sort of jokingly called him Ted Bundy. Like, he was a fucking serial killer. Like, how does this guy even get into dental school? How does this guy make it through the interview? You know, it's like very strange guy. And I don't care. You could have put him through 25 consecutive hours. You could have done the goddamned Clockwork Orange deal where you held his eyelids open.
The Ludovic?
Yeah, and put saline drops in him to keep him moist while he watched cultural sensitivity training videos, and he would never be an unawkward person. So I think there's always going to be a percentage of dentists who just, it doesn't matter what kind of training they get, are not going to be able to understand it. Why do dentists act like I am not there, or feel free to just say whatever they want? Here's what I think she's talking about. Or he.
That's your Ted Bundy person.
Yeah. Well, maybe, but like,
you're the wrong dentist.
Here's how the fucking exam works. So when I go to the doctor, when I go to my physician, and he does his exam, he does my yearly physical. He does like a whole like review of systems and like checks my reflexes and this and that, and he's like saying shit to the nurse for their record, right?
Yep.
It's a fucking medical exam, right? Like, so, that's part of the deal.
That's exact. Maybe it was just me, but my assistant, we have a checklist. I tell the patient directly, hey, I'm going to be talking to my assistant, so you feel free to zone out and ignore me. Like, I'm going to be talking to her. I'm not ignoring you, but if I say something you want to know more about, feel free to stop me and I'll explain. So I go.
I don't think most dentists do that.
Yeah, well, I have a checklist that's kind of long, and I don't memorize it, so she's got to be there narrating, and I follow. So, yeah,
I think that's part of this deal. Is that, and I'm probably guilty of it too. Hey, how's it going? How are you? What's happening? Blah 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 blah. Okay, let's take a look. 2 OL, 3 MO, 4 MOD. Like, that's just how it is. Like, that part you just kind of have to deal with. How you speak about the patient's problems in their presence matters, it says. Like, I like, all right.
The example.
Well, I don't want to, all right, before we get to that example.
Okay.
How else do you want me to say MOD on number 4? Am I supposed to explain it like?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to tell the hygienist to chart or my assistant to chart in layman's terms? Is that what you're talking about? Like, all right. So if that's what you're talking about, fuck right off. Like, we have words that we use that are that this is every fucking industry. This is especially healthcare. We have words that we use. We don't expect you to understand it. It's not for you at that point. It is for the fucking record. So shut the fuck up and zone out, like you said. Now, here's the second part. Being dramatic about what you are working on is rude as hell. Try again and simply say, let's see, how about I had a dentist say that was redoing a cavity, and she said, that one's huge. We need to go way up. That could have been a fucking Matrix band. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I always pre-warn people, hey, this appears to be routine. It might be worse than we expect. I don't know until I'm there, and kind of pre-warn them that it could be a big deal. But yeah, if it's a size that the only size would be a Matrix band or something like that. Not going to be, I don't
or
size
stainless
my
steel
fillings.
crown.
Yeah.
Something like that. One of those like ion crowns or something.
Yeah, but odds are, I mean, I'm saying,
but like,
told them.
So she's saying, or the Redditor is saying that they were talking about her cavity. That it's huge. We need to go way up. Like, maybe the assistant handed them the wrong thing, and they're saying that piece that you just handed me is too big. We need to go up, like, or whatever it is.
Or I've had a amalgam. Well, that's not amalgam. A composite compactor, and the size is it's too narrow. I need the bigger one to pack it down more. You and all your fucking amalgam that you place all the time. That's right.
So this one, I think they're being a little sensitive in that, like, hey, what happens in the heat of the fucking moment when I'm talking to my assistant? Again, it's not for you. It's for the fucking assistant. Shut up, put in your AirPods, and
if we're working on it, you got a fucking isolite in your mouth. We're not having a conversation. I'm not taking it out to discuss anything.
They compared this to a dermatologist saying, "Wow, your acne is bad. You look like pizza." It's not what the fucking dentist said. The dentist said that they got the wrong piece of whatever it was. They need something bigger or smaller, whatever it is. That's the more deal of the closer analogy of that is the dermatologist asks for a 12 blade and they say, no, I need a 15 blade.
Right.
Like, you don't know what a fucking 12 blade or a 15 blade is, so shut up. Like,
exactly.
Don't be so sensitive about this.
Mm-hmm.
Am I saying that you were mistreated, that you were never mistreated at some point? No, I don't think that that's true. I think that you had a couple of shitty dentists. Mm-hmm. However, I think you are now a little oversensitized and expect for a little red carpet to be rolled out.
Yeah. Agreed.
Unfortunately, there's not like, if you want to get better at treatment planning full arches, you can go take Spiracois, mm-hmm. right? If you want to get better in Invisalign, you can fucking take Galler. If you want to get better at implants, you can go take Pathway. If you want to get better at endo, there's tons of shit you can do. If you want to get better at communicating with patients, there's nowhere you can fucking go. There's nowhere.
There's not a lot, but there's places like Ashley Ladder's got a couple books, and he used to travel around and lecture and stuff. I mean,
but there's not like a world's, no one would dispute the fact that like Spear or Coyce are the a leading authority in full arch treatment planning and full arch execution, right?
Right, but they're the
there's
clinical
not
aspect.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, if you want that, there's the place that you go and you can get the best. Right. There isn't that for like communication skills. There isn't anybody. There's no institute that you can go to and be like, I'm just going to go straight to the fucking best. If you want to learn implants, you can pay Moody $15,000 and go to Pathways, and you get the fucking best implant education you can get. There isn't that because it's, first off, there's no fucking money in it. No dentist would ever pay to go.
Yeah, that's the bigger.
But even if there was, like, it's all fucking different strokes for different folks. Like, what works really well for one person may not work well for something other. And so I think this person just needs to shop around and find the fucking dentist that best suits their personality, than expecting every dentist to kowtow to them. Right.
Right.
It would be just like going out on a date and just like, wow, like none of these men and I mesh, emotionally. Well, it's fine. Like, you keep going till you find the one that you do. You don't like just throw your hands up in the air and say all men are trash. Like, you just keep dating until you find one.
Yeah.
So you just had some bad experiences. Like, and not everything is about you. Not everything, like, this one's huge. That's not even fucking about you, probably.
Right.
It's probably about some piece of equipment.
Yeah, their armamentarium sucked.
So don't be so sensitive.
Yeah.
Calm the fuck down. Don't be so sensitive. Yeah. Did you, like, were you, I'm going to use this term and I'm going to use it loosely. Like, were you abused? Yeah, you were in an abusive relationship with somebody. But that doesn't mean that, like, every other person you date from then on out, like, when they, like, sneeze loudly, that it's about you, that they're raising their voice at you. Like, no, sometimes it's about some shit that's totally outside of you. Mm-hmm. Don't get so sensitive about it. What do you think?
I totally agree.
Nipple Bolus, 1997. That's a great name. This is your only post ever.
Huh. Okay.
Cool. Question 2, Reddit user Bezier Curve asks, do you have control over the music that gets played in the office? This will determine if I become a dentist or not.
Oh, really? Wow.
Obviously, if you own your practice, you have control over that. But if you work under your higher up, not sure what the right term is here, do you have some say in what music gets played? Because I would like to play audiobooks. Of course you would.
Wow.
Lance, do you have say in what music gets played in your office?
I have extreme say.
Me too.
However, I'm impressionable if someone has a request, or if WAP comes on, we might.
Yeah, well, the algorithm's not going to throw that one up. It's not ClinCheck. It's better than ClinCheck.
Yeah, I had that. We get the Sonos, and we had just this. It was an internet radio station, and it was just the top hits.
Yeah,
and that came on.
You got
oh shit!
Why have you not put the time into a Pandora station?
Yeah, I'm lazy, so I just do iHeartRadio. Simply Red it seems to be the best station. It's got a nice mix of 80s.
I'm so disappointed in you, Lance.
I know.
I am like beyond disappointed in you. I am like so disappointed in you. It is not even funny. Because I just feel like if anybody would ever put the time in to like curate a station, it would be Lance Timmerman.
And
like multiple, like you've got your your goddamn like broken down into fucking city in Britain, you know? So I've got a Pandora station that we've been working on for 11 years. 12 years. No, what is it? This station was created on January 17th of 2012.
Wow.
It has 59 thumbed up tracks and 120 thumb down tracks.
Wow. Yeah, I should get on that, but it just seems to when the playlist on the iHeart radio station gets stale and we just switch it up, and next thing you know,
well, that's how you end up with WAP playing.
Yeah.
In your office.
Now it's I don't just do top hits. So if I do stuff that's more 80s focused, Haircut 100, Simply Red, that kind of stuff, it's going to throw out, Mighty Lemon Drops and such, and it's fine. It works.
Yeah. I'm super anal about it. I am super anal about what plays on mine.
Well, I like hearing something that I haven't heard for a while. If I chose my playlist, it was something I would have chosen and not rediscovered.
But that's the thing; it's not a playlist. Pandora is like it generates an algorithm based on what you thumb up and thumb down.
Gotcha.
So it's not just like a standard. It's just not like a static list. Like it just shit changes all the time. And so that's why I do Pandora. Spotify does that a little bit, but you can really only do one seed on it, and there's not like thumbing up and thumbing down. So it doesn't really learn anything else about you.
Okay.
I feel like at this point, my fucking Pandora station knows more about me than anything or anybody else in the world,
All right.
Like it knows me pretty well. I do have a huge problem with this question.
Okay.
Audiobooks.
Yeah, that's
not going to happen. This is not. It just you're not going to get. You're not going to listen to anything. You're not going to gain anything. It's just going to play.
Staff is going to mutiny because they're bored as
they're
fuck.
They're pissed. Yeah,
and
patients don't want to listen to it. Yeah,
you can't pay attention to what they're saying.
You can't pay attention, and you've got to stop and get up and move around. It's like it's not going to go how you think it goes.
Yeah, now, you need a background thing.
There have been times that I have, especially on like a case where I'm going to be sitting and prepping for like an hour plus. Like 6 or 8 units,
Sure.
I'm going to be sitting, I'm going to be prepping probably for an hour plus. I'm probably not going to move for that hour. I'm going to do my hygiene exams first, then I'm going to sit and I'm going to be prepping for a while. Right. I've thrown in an AirPod and like listen to a podcast or something like while I'm doing something like that. But like on a normal day where I'm up and down and moving around and I'm doing, a few resins here, I'm prepping one crown here, I'm seeing another crown over there, I'm fucking up an Invisalign case royally in another room. That's the old me. The new me is going to get it right. Gotcha. Then there's just no point. Like you're not going to retain anything. You're not going to hear it. It's not going to happen. So first off, like just fucking move on from the audiobook shit.
Yeah.
Yes, you can pick your music to a certain extent. I don't know anybody who would have shit like WAP playing in their office. But
only a total asshole.
I'll let a patient pick if it's like if it's more than like $6,000 of treatment.
Yep.
They can pick and they get to pick that room. I'm not changing the whole office. Right. But I had a guy named George once who was like into the blues. And he and I used to argue about whether or not John Mayer was a blues artist. And I'd be like, have you fucking heard Gravity? There's my argument right there. Like, that's it. Listen to Gravity. He can play the blues. Listen to anything from the John Mayer trio. Any of that. All fucking blues. It's all fucking blues. And I would let him pick, but it was like we were doing $6 or $8 at a pop. So you get to pick. If I'm doing a fucking MO on number 3, you don't get to pick.
Exactly.
When I'm getting $160 for it.
When they spend big money, they get a lot of control.
Absolutely.
Like I don't work Saturdays or Sundays, but you're paying $20,000. I'll come in at 9 p.m. on Saturday night for you, or whatever it is that you want. It just doesn't happen very often that they want to come in on the weekends, so it works out fine.
Audiobooks ain't going to be it, dog.
No, fuck no. That's just a hard pass. That is right out.
Yeah, not going to happen. How is that like, this is what, like, my decision is hinging on this?
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. Your whole career is going to hinge on you choosing music?
This is
all
like,
right.
Bros, I really, really want to be an accountant. But fuck that if I don't get to pick what highlighter color I get to use. If my boss tells me I got to use orange, fuck it. I'm not taking a single accounting course.
Lime green,
what?
I might shoot someone. Yeah.
What?
That's just
like
yeah, that's quite the
I really want to be a veterinarian, but if they don't let me choose what tires I put on my car, I'm fucking out of here.
I'm gone.
What are you even talking about? That's where your decision is hinging on that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
if you wanted to listen to audiobooks all day, what could you do? Be a truck driver or an Uber driver, something like that. Like some sort of driver, delivery driver, UPS, FedEx, you name it.
Yeah.
Like data entry or some shit. Like where you're just at a computer all day, you're staring at numbers.
Yeah, one of my favorite jobs, I was the receiver at Barnes & Noble. So I opened all the boxes and scanned them into the computer system. I didn't have to interact with anybody. It was awesome.
So as a receiver, was there like a gentleman in charge of all the receivers?
The giver?
No. I was going to more like somebody who was in charge of all the people who were the receivers.
Just the manager.
Okay. We're gonna do a work on yes and improv. Lance, when you were a receiver at Barnes & Noble, was there a person in charge of all the receivers? Yes,
there was.
Were they called the head receiver?
I believe so.
Okay, good. There we go. Yeah, that's a job that's sort of like, you can kind of tune out and do. But you can't it just maybe even oral pathology. If you're an oral pathologist, you could probably do that.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like you just get the sample, you fucking prep your slide, you look at it, you write your report. It's like you're not really interacting with anybody. You're not jumping around to do other shit. Like if you wanted to be in dentistry and listen to audiobooks, then be an oral pathologist.
Yeah, I think so.
But other than that, you're not going to be able to listen to any fucking audiobooks.
No. You're done.
It's a very strange thing. It's a very strange thing.
Yeah,
I swear to God, if I don't get to pick what color socks I wear, I do not want to be a registered nurse, Lance. Fuck that.
Makes sense. More power to you.
That's hey, the man knows what he wants.
Yeah.
The woman knows what they want. Wouldn't it be crazy if they were like, do you have some say in what gets played? Because I would like to listen to Creed. It's the only thing be crazier than fucking audiobooks. Is they're like, I gotta fucking listen to Creed. I gotta have that Scott Stapp in my life.
Exactly. You don't want any Chad Kroger and Nickelback in your ass. So,
Bezier Curve has some other posts. This is a good one. This is their post. Subreddit of conspiracy. Could Earth be a prison planet maintained by malevolent extraterrestrials? So sort of an Australia kind of situation, but the whole Earth.
Right. Huh.
Oof. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Would need some proof to say otherwise.
As a general rule of thumb, should you apply to several dental schools or all 66 dental schools?
Jesus. Rule of thumb? No. Not all.
Here's a good one. Lance, you may be able to answer this one. This is in the subreddit of Christianity.
Hmm.
I didn't will my fast into existence before I started. Does it still count? Normally when you fast, you mentally start the fast by willing it. Fasting begins after that. This is why you should always will the fast before you sleep so you can get an extra 8 hours of fasting time. Here are some hot tips on fasting from the Christianity subreddit.
Yeah.
I thought I started a 21-day fast 21 days ago, and I just now ended it by eating more than 50 kilocalories within 60 minutes. This fucking metric system isn't helping me.
Yeah.
But I now realize that it was only 20 days ago that I officially willed the fast into existence. Therefore, the day before that, I just so happened to not eat that day. So it wasn't technically a fasting day. I think we're in semantical. Do you think Jesus is just like, fuck that guy? Fuck him. That guy's celebrating 21 days.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's bullshit. That's 20.
He straight to hell.
I needed to fast a multiple of 7 days for the fast to be extra effective. Bonus points if you ended on Easter or Christmas. Will my fast be just as effective, or has it lost its power? What the fuck is he talking about?
Let's just say, let's put it out there. It's just as effective. I think I can say without a doubt, it is just as effective.
Do you think Jesus really wants you to like not eat for 3 weeks?
He doesn't give two shits.
That's like...
No.
Is Shrek 2001 a Christian movie? It does have references to the Bible, such as a talking donkey. I somehow fucking missed that part of the Bible.
God. Oh, no, there's a talking ass. Who was it? Guy with the flaming sword.
Is it Rush Limbaugh?
Yeah, I believe that was his middle name.
Talking ass. And the song Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen mentions the secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord.
I think it belonged to the angel.
But there's also a green giant ogre named Shrek and fairy tale creatures which are unbiblical. And there's a torture scene. So, do the biblical references outweigh the evil?
I think you need to fast on that.
The evil of exposing adolescents to ogres, fairy tale creatures, and a torture scene.
Oh, God.
This guy's a tough hang. This guy's a real tough hang.
This is... No.
We could spend 4 hours here. I pirated movies as an adolescent and haven't asked for forgiveness. Is it even the right thing to do?
You're going straight to hell. I already said you did 20 days, not 21. You fuck that. You're gone.
2 years ago, I pirated movies, but they were not Christian movies. It was superhero movies and R-rated comedies. Is it a different, like, first off,
wow.
Do you think it makes a huge difference if you pirated a Christian movie versus fucking Avengers Endgame or whatever?
I think you go to an extra layer of hell.
I just, like, doesn't matter. Like, if you steal a Bible, is it stealing? Is it still a sin? I mean, you stole it.
Were you going to give it to the charity, the widow and her orphans? I mean, I guess it depends what you're going to do with your stolen...
It's just still fucking stealing, man. It's one of the fucking 10 Commandments.
I know.
Oh, get this. All right.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Oh, we need a whole fucking episode. I can't. We need a whole episode on this.
Okay.
If I blow it here, this is a whole fucking episode of content.
Okay.
That's the wildest fucking Reddit I've ever... Yeah.
Screenshot so we don't forget.
How do I tell the difference between an RFID implant and the mark of the beast?
I think if your ears start ringing, I think that's...
Is it bullshit? Crystal healing?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Everything you've said. Oh.
Is it possible to know what direction a stock will move in the future ahead of time?
I don't know. If you get everybody together, band together, and agree to not let something get shorted, maybe.
Does Zoloft make the job easier?
You just don't care.
Son, I believe it does.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right. We need a whole episode on this. Okay. I'm going to send you that screen grab because this is next week's episode. It's so fucking amazing. This is the greatest tease of all time. Like, you have to listen next week because you have to fucking hear this question. I just saw it. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. rate and review us, obviously.
I guess.
If you pirated movies, and not the good ones, the Christian ones, obviously.
Well, clearly.
Or if you have friends that pirated Christian movies, tell them about the show. That's how we grow the show, one Christian movie pirate at a time. Hit us up with a rating or a review. Lance, what's your favorite number?
I'm a big fan of 5.
If you were going to pirate biblical movies, how many would you pirate?
At least 5.
At least 5, right. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify. If you're flicking through Podbean, flick 5 stars. Hit us up on the web. WorkingInterferences.com. Hit us up on all the social bullshits. Facebook, Working Interferences with Josh and Lance, or Funny Shit for dentists and dental team members. Twitter, @Winterferences. Instagram, @Winterferences. Lance can be found on Instagram, @DrTimmermanDMD. I can be found on Instagram, @JoshuaAustinDDS. Mash that damn follow button. Lance, tell me about your song.
Well, I've been in that nostalgic streak for a bit, and kind of a more later in like 90s and such. Are you familiar with Liz Phair?
Do I know Liz Phair? Are you going to pick HWC?
That is going to be our theme song.
Okay.
That is the song.
This is the song. Okay. So that's Liz Phair's second album. I believe because the album with HWC came out like in the late 90s. But there's an album before that. That's actually pretty spectacular. Trying to get dates. Yeah, so Fun Style is her first album.
Okay.
And that's actually a really good album. That's probably 94.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Maybe 95, something like that. Maybe. I don't let me get this. Let me get this right, because I remember there being a really good Liz Phair album like 94, 95. And I don't want to mess it up in case. Okay. No, it's Exile in Guyville is her like seminal one.
93.
That's 93.
Yeah.
This album is off of the self-titled Liz Phair album in 2003, I believe, right? HWC's off Liz Phair.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's the 11th track on 2003. She has Whip Smart in 94 was not nearly as good as Exile in Guyville. She has an EP in 95, Juvenilia, which I don't remember at all. And she has a 98 album called White Chocolate Space Egg that's actually pretty good. I actually think it's probably my second favorite Liz Phair album after Exile in Guyville. And and then Liz Phair self-titled would be number 3.
Okay.
I don't understand her career in the least.
How so?
So, well, I mean, she has a little bit of like a who's the no doubt Gwen. She has a little Gwen Stefani, like a smidge of Gwen Stefani, in that it definitely starts off more rock, and it starts more self-produced. Like it's actually like indie grunge, sort of like Girly Sound, Exile in Guyville, very much like of that time grunge. By the time she gets to 2003 and then the stuff beyond, like Somebody's Miracle in 2005, Fun Style 2010, it gets super poppy. So she really poppy. She got pop, and not so much, not quite as bad as Gwen Stefani did. But I'm like, as you listen to the years go on, it's like, what happened to the fucking girl from Exile in Guyville? Because this shit is like. That was like not produced. That was just like her and a guitar, and it was just like grunge. And then this is like, there's a fucking synth, and there's like auto tune, and there's reverb. Like what the fuck is happening? Like what happened to Exile in Guyville, Liz Phair? And I get it that like sounds change over time, but holy shit! Like when I heard Exile in Guyville, I was like, this is like she's the next huge female rock musician.
Thought she would have been huge, and she just kind of just didn't.
Yeah, and it was like kind of Courtney Love stole her spot a little bit. Garbage, Cranberries, like like I think Liz Phair kind of paved the way for those. But then like there was no like 90, like there was nothing in that like 95, 94, 95, 96 that like was like, okay, I'm here and I'm like the queen of this of fucking women's rock. And then it was like, and then it was just Alanis. Alanis just came in and fucking dunked on her,
Yeah.
And I'm sad about it because I still think Liz Phair is great. I at some point she lost her sound. She's rad. She's still pretty hot.
She's very hot.
Super attractive. I'm trying to see. When was she born? How old is Liz Phair? Where is she from? She's from New Haven, Connecticut. What? A white chick from New Haven, Connecticut? Yeah. She's 53. So she's your age.
Weird.
Close. She was born in 67.
She's my sister's age.
She's married to somebody named Jim Stauskuskas. But apparently they are not married anymore. So she is like available, my friend, if you wanted to give that a run.
All right.
Sweet. Let me look at her smile. Let me just do a quick smile design here. Not bad. 7 is labelly positioned, but it looks natural. But she's got good gingival architecture. She's a hair on the gummy side, especially on the left side. But it's a nice natural smile.
Yeah. No, she's still hot.
For a rocker, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, now there's a picture. Ooh. If you just like look, oh my God. So she's had some Botox or something done because she was like, or she may have had an impaction. I'm gonna send you a picture.
All right.
This is not the same smile. Something's been done. She may have had a Lafort 1 impaction. Yeah, she's had something done. Not bad, but she needed it. This picture that I'm looking at is a rough gummy smile. So
gotcha.
Anyway, that's cosmetically diagnosing the rock stars with Josh and Lance. So enjoy HWC. I don't want to give away what HWC means.
Nah.
You'll get that surprise. For Lance Timmerman, I'm Josh Waston. Peace. Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Give it to me, don't give it away. Don't think about what the others say. My skin's getting clear.